Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making this turkey box, and this is perfect for Thanksgiving and giving sweet little gifts, maybe to teachers or for the host of Thanksgiving or a friend. It's super cute, so let's go ahead and make this. But before we get started, you do need to grab the SVG file from my blog at svgnation.com. I have left a link in the description that's going to take you directly there, so you can just click there. So once you upload this into Design Space, this is what your file is going to look like. And we do need to change some of these lines to score lines, as we need to do for most boxes. So to get started, go ahead and click on this to ungroup all of your layers. And now from here, there's 4 different areas that you do need to go and resize these. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to change it from basic cut to score. And then just click on this group of layers that's going to select both of those and attach your line right there to your box layer. And we're just going to repeat this 3 more times. Just change that to score, select those and attach. And scroll down just a little bit to find the other 2. So just select right here, and we're selecting on this box layer right here. Score, we're going to select here to attach both of those, and we've just got 1 more. We got to scroll back down. Okay. And before we go ahead and cut this, I do want to make a few notes about this. Okay, so you're going to start off with cutting. You're going to have 3 of these pieces that almost look identical, but one of them actually is a little bit larger than the other, and it's the piece for the lid. So this is something that I just want you to keep in mind. So when you separate them, the larger one, if you see this one, the height is 5.564. and this is 5.496, so it's a very slight difference. You will be able to line it up and notice it, but the larger one is going to need to go with your box pieces, and your box pieces are the skinnier ones right here. And because of the way that this is designed, you really can't resize this box. You could make the width larger by adding, a little bit more on here and welding it together, or you could make it shorter by slicing some of this off. But those are pretty much the only edits that you're going to be able to make as far as the sizing for the box. Is just the depth. Okay, and another thing that you can do with this one is right here on the front belly of your turkey, you can write, personalize it with somebody's name using your Cricut pens, or you can write Happy Thanksgiving. There's enough room, and that would look really cute. So I'll show you just how to do that real quick if you've never done this before. Since your turkey is grouped together, you will need to go ahead and ungroup this if you want to do that. And then right here above the layer of your turkey, go ahead and take your text. Just going to write Happy Thanksgiving on this. And right here, you need to go up here to your font, and you need to find a good writing font. Cricut has a bunch right here. If you go to filters, you can select by their writing. Now, most of these you do have to have Cricut access for. I believe there's only one that's free. And it's like the Sans, Cricut Sans right here. That's going to be your only free one that's going to convert to writing. If you want something a little bit better, I actually have a post that shows you exactly how to write with your Cricut, and it lists my 10 favorite free writing fonts. So I'll link that in the description if you want a different font. I'm going to actually use one of those that I have. Let's see. Like here is one that writes really good. Oops. What am I clicking on? Okay, there we go. So I am actually going to put this on 2 different layers. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's just delete that. Click this. I'm going to duplicate it. And just get rid of Thanksgiving there and get rid of Happy here. I always think I have to go to my text tool to modify inside here because you have to do that on other design programs, but all you have to do is double click inside. And I'm not going to actually write this when I cut it. I just want to show you guys how to do this in case you wanted to add, personalize this or add Happy Thanksgiving to it. I'm just going to drag this down a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to click on the layers here to move it. Alright, so once you have your text and you like how it is, you also want to make sure right here, this style says regular because this is not an official writing font, but it looks really good since it's thin. So you need to click on each of these layers and change the style right here from basic cut, and you want to go to your pen right here. And then we're going to do the same right here. So now both of these are pen layers, so they will write with the pen when we go to cut this. But we need to tell it exactly where to write as far as where it's going to cut on the paper. And so that's why we need to select both of these layers and select our turkey right here. And then go ahead and attach those together. And so now this is going to write in the correct spot on your box. So when you go to make it, you'll be able to see that it is lined up on the correct spot. And there it is. So it will write on there. I'm actually not going to write on mine. I just wanted to show you this in case you wanted to write on your box. But if everything looks good, you've got all your lines attached, and you do want to make sure that you see the score lines right here. If you don't see them right there, then you didn't attach them to the right layer, so you need to go back and do that. But if everything looks good, then go ahead and start cutting your project, and then we're going to assemble it. Once all of your pieces are cut out, go ahead and organize them first. This way you're going to be able to match all the right pieces together so you won't mix anything up. There are 3 of these brown base pieces, and one of those is going to be slightly larger than the other 2. So place the one that's a little bit larger on the side, and then place the pieces that are used to make the box top with it. And those are going to be the 2 pieces that are like with the tabs on it that are slightly smaller in height. And then you're going to start with folding all the tab pieces in. I'm working on the bottom part of the box first, which is going to be the little pieces with the tab pieces that are a little bit wider. So I'm going to start with just folding those tab pieces in. And I'm starting with this shorter length piece as I go to glue it down. And I'm just going to glue all of these little tabs to the circle portion of the box. And the smaller part does go with the smaller circle part of the box. And so you're just going to continue to glue these tabs down around the perimeter of the box base. And this is going to take just a little bit of time to do this, especially if this is your first time making a box like this where you kind of make the shape with the tabs. So don't rush with this, take your time so it comes out really good. Typically when I make boxes, I do use hot glue because it dries faster. But in this situation, it just is going to dry too fast, and you really don't want that. You want a glue that will still dry pretty fast, but not quick enough that you don't have time to kind of slide the pieces around and move them as needed. So I definitely do not recommend hot glue for this one. Since the glue does take a little longer to dry though, you are going to have to be patient and hold them in place a few seconds for them to attach, or they'll keep kind of sliding up. But you're just going to continue to do this, and you're going to continue to glue the tabs around the shape of the box until all of the tab pieces are in place, and making sure that you do have the edges lined up. And you don't have to worry about if the inside of the box looks messy because we are going to cover this. So if the glue seeps out and it's moving all around, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So once everything is glued down, then you can go ahead and glue the overlapping pieces on the sides together to close in the box. And then you're just going to glue the other piece of turkey, the little turkey shape, to the inside of your box, and that's going to hide your tab pieces and make it all pretty on the inside. But make sure to press this piece down until it lays flat. It is a tight fit, so just kind of press it down really good, and it's going to stay really well. And then go ahead and put this part aside, and while the bottom part of your box dries, we'll go ahead and assemble the turkey. So you're just going to start with the orange layer, and this is going to be your bottom layer. So you're going to glue your white layer right on top of this, and then you're going to glue the brown layer on top of the white layer. And then you're just going to attach your 2 little eyes and the little red piece to your turkey. And if you are looking for a glue recommendation for paper crafts, I highly recommend this Barely Art Craft glue that I'm using. It works really well with holding cardstock together, but it doesn't leave that wet look that some of the other glues do. So I really like it. And if you guys want to know where to get it, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description if you want to grab it yourself. And then once your turkey is assembled, go ahead and fold the rest of your tab pieces in because we're going to now assemble the lid. We're going to assemble the lid to the bottom of the turkey instead of like the brown piece. But we're going to do the same thing we did before. However, we're not following the whole shape of the turkey, so you're not going to follow around the wings or around the little top piece of the head. We're just going to follow the same path that we did with the bottom layer. So just like that same path of the brown outline of the turkey. And I find when doing this, it's easiest to start with like the first 3 tabs on one of the pieces and get those in place, and then glue the last 3 tabs in place, because then you can kind of see how far around the rest of this little piece needs to go out to glue the tabs down. And it just makes it easier for me and helps me to line it up this way. But if you are having a really difficult time with attaching this to the turkey this way, you can just cut out an additional brown piece and then just attach it the exact same way that you did with the bottom of the box. And you don't have to worry about which areas you're lining it up with, because you're going to align it around that entire brown piece. And then you'll just glue the turkey to this when you're done. So whichever one works best for you, it really doesn't matter. It's not going to make a difference. But this box does take a little patience and some assembly, but it's definitely worth it because it's super cute. But if you guys wanted to do something for a large group, like a classroom, I do have another Thanksgiving box tutorial that I am posting this week that is going to work better for this. This other Thanksgiving box is similar to like the little pumpkin box that I made for Halloween. It takes less than a minute to assemble each one, and there's no glue needed. So it really is going to be a better alternative if you need a large number of boxes to make. But this turkey box right here is just going to be great for a more personalized gift if you're not making many. So each one has its own purpose. But once you have the lid assembled, you can go ahead and add it to the bottom of your box. I did make this lid slightly larger than I typically make lids because I wanted to make sure that it still fit, just in case like you didn't have some of the pieces lined up 100%. If you went too far out on the base on the bottom or something, I wanted this to still fit. So having it slightly larger is going to give you that wiggle room so you don't have to worry if it's not perfect. But I think the box looks super cute just like this. I almost prefer it without the feather pieces, but I wanted to go ahead and add them in case you like the feather pieces with it. And the easiest way to go ahead and attach them is I like to kind of line it up first to see how I want them to look. And then I hold them in place and flip the box over and then just kind of glue them down while they're in place. And then flip the box back over to press them firmly in place. And then just repeat this with the other side of the feathers. And then that's all there is to it. But once you get the hang of gluing down these tab pieces, this box really isn't that difficult to assemble. But I am really curious to know what you guys thought about this, because I am considering making something similar, but in a Santa shape and a snowman shape for Christmas. So you guys let me know if that's too much work for a box or if you want me to go ahead and make them. And if you have any questions on assembling this, make sure to leave those in the comments and I will answer them there. And as always, if you guys want to help me grow so I can continue to make these SVG designs and tutorials, then make sure to like this video and subscribe. And you can also leave me a comment just to say hi, because I love to hear from you guys. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.